Race pace and energy deployment once again proved decisive factors at Suzuka, where maintaining track position remains heavily dependent on consistent performance across an entire stint. Even small variations in power delivery can quickly shift the balance, particularly in the closing stages when cars are closely matched. The Japanese Grand Prix followed that pattern, with several drivers forced into defensive strategies rather than being able to attack. Managing tyres, energy and track position became increasingly complex as the race unfolded, especially after interruptions reshaped the order. For Lewis Hamilton, the race developed into a difficult exercise in defending rather than progressing. The Ferrari driver initially benefited from a well-timed safety car, which allowed him to move into contention for a podium position. However, issues related to power delivery began to affect his performance in the second half of the race. Hamilton described the situation as frustrating, explaining that he was forced to defend for much of the final stint. "It was an average weekend for me," he said after the race. "In the race, I struggled with power for some reason. I had to defend all the time. Everyone around me seemed to have more power today." Despite a strong opening phase where tyre management allowed him to extend his first stint effectively, the balance shifted after the restart. At one point, Hamilton was running in third position, but he began to lose pace relative to those behind him. He reported a significant drop in power, particularly during the second stint, which prevented him from maintaining his position. Data from the early stages of the race did not show a major deficit in top speed, suggesting that energy usage and deployment played a key role. As long as Hamilton remained close to cars ahead, he was able to benefit from slipstream and energy recovery. Once that gap increased, his vulnerability grew, especially on the straights. During this phase, Charles Leclerc closed in from behind. Hamilton was informed that the difference in straight line speed was influenced by Leclerc's ability to use additional energy deployment while within 1 second. However, the British driver maintained that the disparity felt greater from inside the car. In the closing laps, the situation worsened. Hamilton was overtaken first by his teammate and then by George Russell, with both moves occurring in similar areas of the track, particularly into turn 1. The loss of positions reflected his inability to defend effectively without sufficient power on the straights. "I did a really good first stint managing the tyres, but then I didn't have the pace to stay in the fight," he said. "When I put on the new tyres, I still couldn't match the others. In terms of power, I just couldn't stay ahead." He added that the situation was confusing, given that both Ferrari drivers were running the same machinery. Hamilton acknowledged Leclerc's result, noting that his teammate executed a strong race to secure a podium finish. At the same time, he emphasized the need to understand why there was a noticeable difference in performance between the two cars. Looking ahead, Hamilton expressed hope that improvements could arrive in the near future. He suggested that a new power unit may be introduced by the Miami Grand Prix, which could help address the current limitations. "We hope to have a new engine by Miami," he said. "Today we were really lacking a lot of power." The outcome underlines the importance of consistent power delivery under the current regulations, where energy management and deployment strategies can define race results. For Ferrari, identifying the cause of this issue will be critical in maintaining competitiveness over the coming rounds. What's your take on this situation? Share your opinion below and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Formula One updates.